Hello, everyone. Today we're going to talk about goals for 2024. So this is a topic that is so worth it because that directs our steps throughout the whole year. So I want to challenge you to think about your goals when it comes to each pillar of well-being. So for example, when you look up the dictionary for the definition of well-being, so the well-being for relationships, emotions, social setting, and also um, wellness, health and wellness, which is fitness, well-being, and also finances, and and also intellectual. So I want you to really think about each pillar of well-being and what are your goals when it comes to those each pillar of well-being. So let's talk about spirituality, well-being as well, because that also is part of our health, mind, soul, spirit pillar. So what's your goal when it comes to spirituality pillar? And what's your goal when it comes to your relationship, emotional well-being pillar? What's your goal when it comes to your health, fitness journey? And also, what's your goal when it comes to your finances? Also, what's your goal when it comes to your brain, your intellectual pillar? So those are really important because we don't want to be just overly and excessively consumed by one pillar. So we want to be well balanced for each pillar of well-being. So that's called well balanced well-being. And that is good for you for the long term because that is sustainable. And it's all about continuity. It's all about continuous journey. It's all about the long-term sustainability. So that's why. And for me, let me share my spirituality goal. So a lot of people and scholars and business books, they are talking about SMART goal that is really measurable. But that is just one of the theories. And you can follow the SMART goals and you can really change it up and you can make it as sustainable and that works for you, because otherwise when you miss one number, that will really, that may ruin your day, or you may be burdened by those numbers and stressed about those numbers. So for me, I would make a very rough ballpark. And also there are a lot of variables that I cannot really determine and that I cannot really predict as of now. So I would just share the general rule of thumb. So I would love to share my spirituality goal. And people say it is like goal setting. And goal setting is just setting the goals. And that doesn't mean that there is a follow-up action, which is the most important part. You need to do it without thinking, just do it. Think about the goal, do it. So I would call it as not goal setting, but I would call it as goal doing or goal action. So for me, spirituality, 2023 was all about building a very great habit, good habits of that good rhythm, priority, focus, and resetting the relationship with God. So I'm in that good rhythm of keeping that priority and focusing on that very top priority, which is my spirituality, and connecting with God through Bible reading and Bible studying. Sorry about my dogs. So yes, the very first thing in the morning, which is the top priority for me, is to connect with God and talk to God, prayer, and also study the Bible. Reading is good, but I found myself that I just skimmed through and I really did not have a chance to dig deeper, which is really important. So I would call it a study the Bible. So it's okay, you take 10 minutes or 15 minutes per day, but the very important part here is the very first thing in the morning, because God is the orderly God. God is the God of order, and he does see our heart, the center of our heart, and the priority. So yeah, so take your time and connect with God, which is a living God, the Bible itself, and also dig deeper. So when you read, just do not skim through and fast read. Chew on the word, repeat each word, and see what is the Bible verses that tells you that stands out the most, because that's Rhema for you. That's a private message for you. So those are really important to catch that. You know, you need to be spiritually sensitive to catch that as well, because that's the word for you particularly. So for example, when I read a Bible with my husband, even though it's the same message, the the verses that stood out to me versus the verses that stood out to my husband was different, because obviously God is telling us different. We're two different individual, right? So that's why you need to really take your time and chew on the word, study the word, dig deeper. So that's my very first thing in the morning and daily routine. And I don't normally set it as, oh, I'm gonna read from New Testimony, blah blah blah, because every day Holy Spirit is telling me different verses and different chapter, and he whispers in my ear, and normally in the middle of nowhere sometimes, and through some of the sermons through the pastors on YouTube. So I would follow that heart, that desire to dig deeper, and that's how I follow his guidance. So he leads and I follow his guidance. So it has been great. So that will be my journey throughout this whole year. And so it's so hard to really write down how many chapters or what in which order, because every day is different and Holy Spirit is telling me different. So I'll follow his lead. And so, for example, I started my Psalm and Proverbs, and also I've been led to meditate on Ephesians and yeah, the New Testament in the back side of the books, and First Peter, Second Peter, also First John, Second John, Third John. So those were the Bible verses that I chewed on. Yeah, last year 2023, more toward the end of 2023 and this week. So yeah, that's my journey, and your journey should be different because you're a different individual. And yes, so that's my goal every day: connect with God the very first thing in the morning, and also in the evening before I go to bed. I take time to catch up with YouTube sermons, and normally back home. And there are several pastors that I really look up to and that I follow along. So those are my spirituality goal, and I'll continue to be in this good rhythm. And when it comes to fitness journey, I'll move my body 5 times per week. So nothing fancy like numeric, quantitative goals, but I will move my body approximately 1 hour per day. And it depends. Sometimes it can be 1.5 hours. Sometimes it can be 2 hours. Sometimes it can be just 40 minutes. It depends on the schedules, and it depends on my energy level. It depends on the my sleep pattern. So I will play by ears, but that just is the ballpark and rule of thumb that I would follow, like 5 times per week, roughly 1 hour, and each day. And when it comes to intellectual pillar, I read a lot of business related books. I'm more of a nonfiction practical book person, so I would read that book, audiobooks, and also paper book as well. And also, yes, and I follow along the books, and sometimes I read the book, the full whole book on that day, if I'm in a good rhythm of it. Or sometimes it takes like 2 days, 3 days, depending on my work day, so workload. So yeah, I don't set it as like, oh, like this specific books. But one thing for sure is I'll continuously update my knowledge because I'm a lifelong learner. I love learning new things. I love challenging my thought process and yeah, be exposed to those new paradigm and paradigm shift and everything. So yeah, those are my goals. And when it comes to finances, yeah, 2023, I've been led to be very frugal. So and also pandemic led us not to go to the restaurant. It was just, yeah, that was just the fact that we couldn't really go out and have any restaurant food because of pandemic and everything. So in 2023 as well, yeah, we normally buy organic food at the grocery shop and we'll plan out our meal throughout the week, and we'll have that fresh food, natural food, and also enjoy fun food, 20% fun food as well. So yeah, we are in the good rhythm too. It's pretty much similar food, good fat, good protein, good carbs, and lemon ginger tea. So yeah, it's same but different sometimes. So yeah, finances, and I would not mention number, but I will continuously be in that good rhythm of being healthy and really keen on the expenses. And I would not waste any penny or money on anything that is not worthwhile or that is against God or that does not honor God, because everything that is given to us is, it's our responsibility to take good care of them as a steward, and stewardship is really important for us. So yes, those are all belongs to God, and it's our responsibility to take good care of them. So that thing, that is really important. And when it comes to what else? Health and fitness, we cover spirituality. The very first thing we covered, finances, intellectual, social. So we've been having this fellowship from the same church, Elevation Church. Google it up, so good. And we attend the church in Mississauga, Toronto area. So we will continuously be involved in that Wednesday fellowship every week. And in addition to that, it's my goal to catch up with friends more regularly. And that can be my new goal. I don't know. Just I have that desire. Maybe I should really catch up with my friends more often. So yeah. And yeah, I wanted to share that because I asked you the question and you're my family. And I hope this is really helpful and challenging to think about those goals, because that's our direction that we would follow and we would fix our eyes toward throughout this whole year. So yes, that's it for today. And I hope this was helpful, and we'll connect next Thursday on YouTube. And you can also check out the podcast on every Tuesday. Thank you so much for your support, and we love you. God bless you. Oh, I pressed the wrong button.